Hello and welcome to the HCGCast, your podcast for HCG League results, recaps, video game news, and beyond. I am your host, Alex Walski, finally bringing you the recap and the results of the Moni's Open, our first event. This one was untelevised, much like the XFL's first game. We wanted to test a few things out before we kind of dove into the, live streaming market. I couldn't get it going. I was going to do it on my phone. I had plans to bring like a full, kind of small production crew, but I just didn't have enough time to put it all together. So we just did the tournament. It went really well, but this next one we have streaming. So, what would be the point of all this if we weren't streaming the events? But I can give you the recaps. I can tell you a little bit about it. It was super exciting. If you haven't heard it already, check out our intro podcast, the episode 0. I kind of talk about how I started the league. I fumbled through a few things because this is easy. I have something to talk about right here, these results. But before I was kind of just fumbling through how I started the league. It's the rules and stuff like that. It felt very self-indulgent. But going forward, this podcast is just going to be used to read you the results, recap what happened, and then talk a little bit about what's happening in video game land. And most of the time, it'll relate to what we're doing. So, the Moni's Open, our first event. Just like all of our events are going to be going forward, at least while we're at Moni's, it's a $15 buy-in. That $15 buy-in doesn't just, go in our pocket. You get, that goes towards an appetizer of your choosing. There's like a list of what you can have. And either a rail drink or domestic draft. So, if you're one of those local folk in the DMV who want to come compete, that's where your money's going. The food is delicious, so are the drinks. So, I implore you to come on out. Your $15 is going to a good place. Anywho, we had a total of 14 people come out to compete, which I was really excited about. That was far beyond the number that I would have considered a success, that Kyle would have considered a success. We wanted 8, at least 8, so I could put together a comprehensive tournament that was more than just 2 rounds. And that was capable of going like an extended period of time. Part of this is to keep people at a bar drinking and having a good time, or eating, or whatever they're doing. Even if they're, we had some people who don't drink. Some of our competitors didn't drink, but they paid their money, so they're fine. But they had friends who came who did drink. So, the goal is just to keep people there, keep them playing, even when they get knocked out. I could have done that with 8, but we had 14 people show up. And let me pull up here. I'm going to have a little split screen action here in a second with the full results and things like that. But I will start here with the first round. Actually, no, before we do the first round, let me read off the contestants here. I feel like that'll be a little more appropriate. So we had, coming in first, if you're watching live, you're looking at the screen capture here, I apologize. Alrighty, so we had Jose M. And just so you guys know, going forward, I will probably use full names, but I haven't spoken to any of these people since the first tournament. I didn't have plans to do this podcast at first, so it just seems kind of shitty just to use somebody's last name without asking them, especially on the internet. So I'm using initials unless I actually know the person. Like, there's a few people on here I know that I know wouldn't care that I'm mentioning their names. So bear with me. Roll with me, okay? This podcast is still a baby podcast as well. Anywho, our champion coming in first place, and I'll kind of explain how this all worked out. We had Jose M. He won all 4 of his matches. He did not get a first round bye. Just an incredible run in the tournament. He was challenged twice actually. Of course, by not the semifinalist, the runner-up Emily here, but by Conway, which you'll see as we get further down into the results of the tournament. You'll see how the matches went. But Jose, ran the gambit, undefeated, all the way to the finals. Went 4-0. Emily C there, going 3-1, went all the way to the finals and lost 4-3 in a best-of-7 match. That was fantastic. That finals, it came down to the wire. Dominic G, he's a good friend of mine. I hope he considers me a good friend too. He comes to my video game event, so I appreciate him very much. He actually knows my wife. He's dating a girl that works with my wife. Super cool guy. Made a valiant run to the semifinals. but just couldn't get past Emily C. And then we had my good friend Matt Collins of Troll Tribe. I have no problem saying his name on here. A fantastic musician. Check out Troll Tribe if you like cool, like ska reggae music. You'll really like it. But Matt Manchu, he couldn't pull it off. He lost in the semifinals to Jose, and couldn't pull it off in the third place match either. So as you can probably tell, the first four, the 1, 2, 3, 4, those were determined by the finals and the semifinals and a third place match that we had. Now you'll notice that there's points next to everybody's name. I did mention this in the other podcast, but I'll tell you now. Points are used as a tiebreaker. It goes record first. And then, the next tiebreaker is points. So you get a point for every race you win. So that's like, I'll give you an example. The first round was best of 5. So Jose, he won 3-0. There's 2 more races he could have won, so he gets 2 points for them. And he gets a point for winning, so we got 6 points that round. All that added up eventually to 19 points for him. That's not what's going to determine his rank, but that's a tiebreaker. I'll give you an example further down here. As you can see, Dan Whitney, my awesome DJ friend, Mr. Witt, he had more points than Killian here, but Killian had more wins, so Killian was ahead of him in the standings. Now, after 4th place, everything was determined here by a very funny system I kind of put together. I called it the Consolation Cup. The reason I don't do just like a straight losers bracket is because people leave, they get knocked out. Sometimes they won't want to hang out for more than one match. Maybe they drink too much. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to play in the first place. Someone roped them in and they got knocked out and they're like, all right, I'm done. So I kind of group everybody together into this weird little round robin. The first group of people will get eliminated are in one group. The second group of people will get eliminated in another group. And I kind of have them play each other. I tried to make it so everybody played at least like 3 or 4 matches. I did a pretty good job of that. Most of the people who played 1 or 2 matches just didn't stay or hang out. That's how it shook out for the most part. But that's how 5 through 14 there were determined. But going down the line here, we had Conway Johnson, who's going to be a part of our production team, hopefully going forward. He's going to be doing all of the video game capture and helping us get a good camera set up and things like that. Next, we had a brother of Emily C here. Actually, the C's here, it was a family. So Emily, Killian, and Joe all the way at the bottom here. Sort of like the heart foundation of the HCG League. Varying degrees of success here, I'd say, though. Coming in 7th place was Dan Whitney, Mr. Witt. But he scored 7 points because he won his first round match pretty big. So that's why he walked away with a pretty, right in the middle of the pack. Eddie, my friend Eddie S. I went to high school with him. I don't think he minds me saying his name. That's Eddie Suarez. Joe Walsh, Joe W. here. Fantastic musician in a band called The Little Heavies that have actually recently changed their name. I can't remember what it is now, but I'm sure they'll be announcing it soon. Tyler Cetera, Mr. Tyler S. here, who I defeated for his gym shorts. If you didn't follow the build-up for this event, I am in possession of a pair of gym shorts, and I have been for the past 4 or 5 years, that belong to Mr. Tyler Cetera. I stole them from him, in front of him, right in front of his face, and he has never done anything about it to take them back or, try to stop me. So I pretty much own them because of that. And we had a match, best 2 out of 3 races. Winner got the shorts. And I guess you'll see later who came out on top. Crazy Stan, he was a character. He was really fun to have. I look forward to reading the results of his matches coming up. Vince W, this guy, again, you wouldn't know it by the place he came in, but he actually had a pretty solid showing. He's someone who did as well as somebody who was up here, like Killian or Dan, but it didn't go his way in the first round, and he didn't really have much of a chance to score many points after that. Ben Painter, also of Little Heavies, in a band with Joe. One of the guys who drew a first round bye as well. Just couldn't put a win together, as well as Joe C. And then of course you have me, Alex W. here. I won my match against Tyler, but no points because I wasn't officially part of the tournament. And Kyle Emmerich, the main head honcho over at Moni's. He could not defeat Crazy Stan in a grudge match that they threw together near the end of the tournament. I did a lot of foreshadowing and spoilers while reading off those results. So let's dive into that now with the actual match results. So the first round, now we had 14 people in the tournament, so we did it like a 16-person bracket, 8 on each side, and we drew 2 buys. As you could see, it was Ben Painter and Joe C. So we just drew the brackets out of a hat. Let me take a sip of water here before we get into the meat of the tournament. The first round, an exciting contest, if you like blowouts. Emily C., our future runner-up, defeated Crazy Stan, swept him, picking up 5 points in a 3-0 victory. Following that up was Dan Whitney, Mr. Witt, again, 3-0, picking up 5 points. Now, like I mentioned earlier, so Dominic G over here, who went on to win 3rd place and was fantastic in the tournament, he gave up a win to Vince here. This was a good match. Vince almost beat him a second time as well. Dominic didn't have a super easy time getting out of the first round. Actually, now that I look at it, Dominic had the toughest time getting out of the first round. He was the only person who didn't get a sweep in his first round match. So Vince, again, put up a great fight. And I really hope he comes back and tries to, avenge that 0-2 performance, because I think he's a lot better than that. Moving on, we had our future 3rd place winner, Matt Collins, going 3-0 against Killian C., picking up 5 points. And I forgot to mention earlier, Dominic picked up 4 points there. Excuse me. Jose, our future champion, he went 3-0 against Joe Walsh, picking up 5 points. And Conway Johnson, the future winner of the Constellation Cup, whatever you'd like to call it. He went 3-0 against Eddie Suarez, 5 points. And then before I wrapped up the first round festivities, I did the first of our consolation matches. And that was Tyler Cetera picking up his first and only victory in the league, in the competition. And the consolation matches are just best of one, so he went 1-0, picking up a single point in that match against Crazy Stan. So moving on, we finally get to our quarterfinal matchups here. And the quarterfinals were best of 3, and the way the bracket shaped out, it was actually pretty funny. The 2 people who picked up buys ended up facing the people who placed 2nd and 4th in the tournament, and they got just straight up blown out. I mean, Ben, I love him to death. He's such a great guy, a fantastic musician, but he was asking Emily, like, all right, what are the controls again? Like, they're getting ready to race. So, of course, as you can see here, she picks up the blowout victory, going 2-0, picking up 3 points there against Ben. And then Matt Collins just rolling over Joe C here, picking up 3 points, going 2-0 here. And then in our consolation match, though, make it up for his brother, Killian C, picks up the victory over Vince in a really, really awesome race. And if I'm not mistaken, this was one of the only races where the winner didn't finish first in the Mario Kart race itself. Now, I feel like I forgot to explain the rules. It's 1-on-1, as you can obviously tell, but it's the computer races too, so it's like all 12 racers. So it's whoever finishes higher out of the 12, the 2 human racers and the 10 computer racers. And most people who win these, get first every time. But there's only, and I think it was like 3 or 4 instances where the winner finished 2nd here. So let me see. Yep, Killian was only able to finish 2nd here. Vince was right on his tail, held him off. Really fun, exciting matchup. Next quarterfinal, these were 2 guys who advanced on their own merit, no buys. And we have Dominic again fighting his way to the next round, taking it to the match point. I think that'd be match point. No, sorry, 1 shy of the match point. Beating Dan Whitney 2-1. No, best of 3. Yes, no, he brought it down to the match point. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. So yeah, Dominic, that one came down to the match point, fighting his way through the round. Picking up 3 points. We had another consolation match down there. Eddie Suarez just bowling over Joe. Joe C did not have a good tournament, Joe. Come back, though. Redeem yourself. And then the next quarterfinal matchup was Jose M, our eventual champion. Conway Johnson picking up a point there, too. That one came down to match point. That was tense. Conway almost knocked Jose out in that round. He really did. Jose won the first race. Actually, let me go into the results here. I have it. Excuse me. I'm incorrect. Conway won the first race, which really kind of like shocked all of us. Because Jose, I saw him in practice, and I saw him in the first round. I was like, oh my God, this guy's going to the finals. I kind of had a feeling going in he was going to go all the way. But Conway pulled off a pretty dominant victory in that first race, and then he stayed close in the other two races, which Jose won. So awesome way to end the quarterfinals there. And then we ended the round officially with bandmate versus bandmate, Joe versus Ben. Joe only able to finish second in his little race as well, and he picked up the point against Ben. Moving on to one of my favorite parts of the night was the semifinal section. We had taken a break after the quarterfinals. Actually, I think we took a break after each round. A lot of cigarette smokers, myself included. I don't typically smoke, but there was beers, and beers make me want to smoke. But our first quarterfinal matchup, again, Dominic almost fighting his way into the finals here, losing in heartbreaking fashion. His girlfriend getting so into it on the sidelines, which was so awesome, which made me so happy, because she doesn't seem like a big video game person, but she really got invested seeing her man get all the way to the semifinals there. But Emily picked up the victory 2-1 in the best of 3. Now, we had a grudge match, as you can see here. If you're watching on video on Twitch, we had Crazy Stan and Kyle Emmerich, the Moni's head honcho. Now, Crazy Stan, he was a fun character. He added a lot of flavor to the night. He kind of embodied the spirit of what I want the league to be. He was shit talking, but in a fun way. He wasn't being mean to anybody. He was chirping, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember Kyle walked up to me and he's like, "Hey, I want to shut him up. Like, sign me up for a match with him." So we put it together. One race to a finish. And Crazy Stan pulled out the victory. And I'm pretty sure, he came in first. So he won his race as well. And that was fun. That got a pretty good reaction from the people in attendance. I really enjoyed that. That was the upset, though. I really thought Kyle was going to pull that off. So I'm smelling a rematch in the future. Maybe a double grudge match. But again, in our final semifinal match here, we had Jose beating Matt. And this one, Matt did have a great tournament, but in those first two matches, he was really great. But again, near the end, he was slightly outclassed. Jose really just kind of took him to school in these two matches. And after seeing the first race, it was pretty obvious Jose was bound for the finals. But again, Matt putting up a great fight, making his way to the third place match. Now we have some fun here. These final 3 matches, I'm sure. Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry if you were watching live. I am pulling it back up again. I just closed out the tab because there's a funny little side thing. Let's see. Sorry, folks. Alright. Here, let me go to the away screen real quick. I'm going to edit this in the live one. My fault. And we're back. Sorry about that. That was my mother who has my children right now. That's what happens when you're live. But I'll make sure I edit it out for the folks listening to the audio stream. Alrighty, moving on. I do apologize for all of that happening all at once. Let's get back to the results page here. Got it up. Alright. So, these final 3 bits of fun we have here in the semifinals. So we have the For the Shorts match, which was myself versus Tyler, best of 3 races. And you can see there, I destroyed the man. Destroyed him. I really played up the evil heel character for you wrestling fans who understand the lingo. I had so much fun with this. We did these promos, these call-out videos back and forth before the event, which I feel like I probably didn't draw any extra people there, but it did bring attention to like the fact that there's a league starting up at Moni's, up at people's local place, so I had so much fun with those. Me and Tyler both had so much fun putting those together, but he didn't have a real good time facing off with me there. Didn't go so good for him. Now, the Consolation Cup semifinals. This, I could try to. I don't know if I have my. Yeah, I do. I have my original tournament sheet here. So here's. I could explain how everybody got to where they were in the Consolation Cup finals, because there were a total of, I think it would be 4. So there'd be like 8 total people who got knocked out, something like that. So the way it worked is that the first group of people who got knocked out were Crazy Stan, Tyler, Vince, and Killian. I had Stan play Vince. Did I have Stan play Vince? Where's it at? Where are you at? See, now I don't even know how I did my own thing. Tyler beat... Oh, that's right. No, never mind. Sorry. The Tyler raced Stan, and Vince raced Killian. That's how it went. And they played each other. Tyler ended up getting knocked out, but he had to play me. No, he won. Fuck. All right, anyway. I got there somehow. Sorry, I'm not going to get into the details of it because it doesn't even make sense to me. But just know that some people left. Some people didn't want to race anymore. Tyler had to race me for the shorts anyways. It got down to Killian and Dan made sense to, play Conway for the Consolation Cup because Conway put up the best fight, against Jose. Did really well in his first round. It doesn't really matter. The Consolation Cup is just so people stay and have something to play for. Now on to the dramatic conclusion. This started off really well. I was flowing, I was rolling. Then my mom had to call and just, threw me for a loop. That's okay. I'm a professional. I'm a professional broadcaster. So, in our third place match, which was just a single race, Dominic, he got the reward that I feel like he deserved. After fighting his way round through round in a heartbreaking defeat in the semifinals, really kind of just took care of Matt easily and took that third place finish. It was real fun, and it was a feel good moment because it was a guy that I didn't know. I've never seen him play before, so it was cool to see him just kind of show up and do as well as he did. And Matt, a valiant effort. He made it to the Final Four. I'm proud of you, buddy. And then our finals of the evening. My God, you couldn't have written it any better. I am very salty and angry that I didn't have this recorded because seriously, the finals of this tournament were so exciting. It even came down to the final, moment of the final race. And I have the results here. The match results. It was, let's see. Emily took the first 2. Then Jose took the next 2. Tied it up 2-2. Then it went, Emily took the next. Brought it to 3-2. Jose evened it back up 3-3, and then Jose won the last race at the last second with I believe it was a red shell on Emily who was about to win, and Jose hit her with a shell. I believe it was red. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive it was red. And that was our tournament. Exciting, fun, lasted a good long time. We got started around 9ish, got finished around midnight, maybe a little after midnight. Feel like we got the timing down pretty perfect. That final, you couldn't have written a more exciting final. Most people stayed till the end because of how exciting that final was. And I have those, who came to compete to thank. And I really do. So thank you, Jose, Emily, Dominic, Matt, C, our finalists, and semifinalists, and everybody else who came out. It was such a good time, and we're hoping to do this weekly soon. We're But right now, we're just doing it on a monthly basis. Our next one is September the 2nd. That's Labor Day. When you finish cleaning the grill and eating your hot dogs, come on down. $15 buy-in at Moni's Place in Crofton for the Moni's Rumble, our Smash Ultimate Tournament. It's going to be in the same format. Hopefully we can get 16 people out this time. 18 even. We have ways to work a tournament with odd numbers of people, so don't worry about that. There's no limit as of right now. If 30 people show up, it'll be difficult, but we'll make it work. And yeah, that's it for tournament results and things like that. I do want to get into one more thing real quick before we wrap up. So again, just one more time. The Moni's Rumble, September the 2nd at Moni's Place in Crofton, Maryland. $15 buy-in, but that gets you a rail drink and appetizer. And then $5 also goes back to the league so we can buy some equipment and things of that nature. Also, you're supporting your bar as well. It's a really cool thing. Can't be there in person, or if you live far away, we will be at twitch.tv/the HCG League. We will be live on Twitch this time, we promise. You can also find the league at Instagram is HCG League. I just started one of those up. There's no pictures yet. Twitter is at HCG League. There's nothing up there either. There will be. And then, of course, Facebook.com/HCG League. That's kind of where I do most of the corresponding. I post news. I post the event pages up there. And I post all of the results in depth, as you can see if you're watching this on the video. I post all of those up there as well. So that's all the places you can find us. And the podcast, of course. SoundCloud.com/HCG League. But that is the only place you can find us right now. We're not on Spotify or iTunes yet. We should be soon, but we're not yet. Now, before we get out of here, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me and being very nice here. All right, let me give me my beautiful face again. I do want to talk about WoW Classic. I promised to talk about this in episode 0, but my dog barked and my baby woke up, and it wasn't a good time to do a podcast, so that was my own fault. But that's why it was episode 0. Now we can get real. If you'll give me a moment to drink my water. WoW Classic. I never played WoW until about 2 years ago, I'd say. My good friends, Carl and Justin Ambrosia. It's not just because they're twins. They're not one entity, but they're both big fans of WoW, and they actually got me in on the Elysium private server. They got me playing that. I was able to get it for free. It was I hooked immediately. I mean, people say it's like picking up the pipe. It really is. I was hooked after my first fix. It was euphoric, and it was the kind of game that I like. I like grindy things like that. And WoW Classic, definitely there's a lot of room to grind, and to play that kind of mind-numbing, relaxing style. I like to do just killing enemies, maybe doing some easy quests and listening to some chill music. That's a dream night for your boy here. But I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I played with them some. But then we kind of just stopped playing. They went on to other games. I think they went on to another server. They were much better than me. So, realistically, they were going to be playing with their friends, high-level dungeons and stuff. I was just playing for the first time. I was like, ooh, look at this. What's going on here? I couldn't really keep up. But I kind of, I played on my own a little bit on this private server. But eventually, the laptop that I played on, the one I should still have to use when I go out and do podcasts, it sucks. And I stopped using it. But then, I got a PC. Finally. That's what I'm recording on right now. And I was like, let me try WoW again. I couldn't figure out how to download the Elysium server thing. My friends had done it for me, and I'm not very technically savvy with things like that. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just buy the game. Fuck it. And I have a powerful enough computer. I have a graphics chip in there. I could play. It's pretty much like, this would have been a solid gaming PC in 2012 or 13. If that makes any sense. So I can play some, decent things. So WoW runs fine. So I downloaded it, and lo and behold, I found out you can level up to 20 for free. So I did, and just played my patootie off. And again, this was about 6 months ago. Excuse me. I'm quite gassy today on the podcast. But I played my way up to level 20 and did it slow. Like, I wasn't, like, immersed in it like I was when I was playing on the Classic server. It didn't click yet for me. But I did. I got up to level 20. And when I figured I had to pay, I was like, maybe I'll pay. And I took, like a month or two break from it. And then around the time, and it's just a really funny coincidence, around the time that I kind of got the itch to play an MMO again, I found out that WoW Classic was starting up. And I got back onto my account with my level 20 orc for the Horde, and I paid for my subscription, and I started leveling up. I'm actually at a level 35 now. It's awesome. Again, the pipe is securely in my mouth. But this happened all around the same time as WoW Classic. I didn't know. It wasn't on my radar. I was like, oh, cool. This Classic thing's gonna be out. Is it like the Elysium servers and stuff? Like, how much has this game really changed? I didn't really have too much of a reference because, again, the Elysium server was a lot different than retail, but I wasn't paying attention. You know, it wasn't that important in my life. I wasn't that focused on it. But again, as I played retail more and I read more about these stories of WoW Classic, I started getting hyped as shit. And then I start seeing my friends on Facebook just posting like, hey, you know, we meeting up, what's going on? They started talking about nostalgia. And I read these articles about how excited people are and like the first time they did X and Y. And you could tell I didn't play this game because I don't have the frame of reference for, and I think 2004 the game came out. So that's like, it's 15 some years of a player base growing with this game. And we're going back to the original. So this was just a very long roundabout way of telling you I'm excited for WoW Classic. I'm excited to kind of, in a remastered way, I'm guessing, I'm not sure how authentic the experience will be. I haven't played it yet. I didn't get a chance to do like the beta or the stress test or whatever. I won't know till August 30th, like the rest of us, a week from this stream. But I am excited to kind of maybe experience what that was like, you know, for the first time. And I don't think I would have been old enough to really appreciate it back then. I think in 2004 I was, 11, 12, something like that. I'm 27 now, so you could do the math for me. I honestly God don't know. But I'm excited to make WoW Classic a part of the HCG League. I think it would be really cool to do a Classic WoW stream every week. Maybe maybe the best competitors, the people who either show up frequently or win frequently at the league. It would be cool to kind of get them together once a week and we all just play WoW Classic, have fun. We can even talk about the league. I don't know. I talked about all that in episode 0. So you can check that out there. But I'm pumped, and if anybody wants to play with me, message the HCG League on Facebook. It's not that it's not that difficult to get in contact with me. And that's really it for this podcast. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. That was fun. I felt relaxed and cool and calm while doing that. I'm not too good when it comes to solo podcasting, but when I have something to talk about, it's a lot easier. That's it for the HCG cast for this week. I will be back with another HCG cast after. Now, it'll either be after the practice tournament we might be putting on Monday. I haven't hammered out the details of that yet. So it'll either be after that or this definitely there'll be an episode after the Moni's Rumble. So that'll be up on the 3rd of September. We'll be streaming live here on twitch.tv/the HCG League. And it'll also be on soundcloud.com/the HCG League, like an hour after I finish doing the live stream. Hopefully soon on SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, all those awesome places, but not yet. And once again, goodness gracious, I'm doing my best here, folks. But once again, the places that you can reach us, find results and news, things like that, facebook.com/the HCG League. I will be posting pictures of the first event and events going forward on Facebook and on Instagram. That's at the HCG League. Twitter is at HCG League. I'm going to start posting there. Nothing there yet, though. And, SoundCloud.com/the HCG League. That's where you're listening right now. Twitch.tv/the HCG League is where you're watching right now. And I am Alex Walski. And this podcast is over. I will see you at the Moni's Rumble September the 2nd. Sign-ups at 7:30 p.m. at Moni's Place in Crofton. Catch it live here, though. Sometime around like 8 o'clock, I'll get the stream running. That's it. No more plugs. No more shilling. Goodbye. Until next time.